All right. Hello, everybody. This is Amanda Rigby from It's a Functional Life podcast. I'm excited to talk to you today because honestly, I was listening to my first recorded one back in the summer that I had posted earlier this week, and I was laughing at myself because it's just so crazy how over the last, I don't know, four or 5 months, life has just completely taken a 180, and I am a completely different person than who I was in that last podcast. This whole process has been so fast and so unknown, and such is life, isn't it? I mean, story of my life is constantly jumping into things and just figuring it out on my way down. I've never been the one to kind of overcomplicate or question things. If I know that I want to do something or if I'm passionate about something, I'm kind of all in and I just figure it out as we go and make it work. So I'm laughing at myself laying outside in the summer back in Rhode Island, having moved back from North Carolina, where I spent the previous year in my supervised practice rotation to become a registered dietitian. This process, as if you've been following me, has taken about 6 or 7 years. And it doesn't usually for most people unless you change schools a couple times and change your major, and also have programs that you have to work to get into before you begin them. So needless to say, it's been a long journey. It has not been the easiest, but it's definitely proving itself to be worth it here today, December 14th, 2017. It's so funny because I can remember being in the middle of nowhere down south, completely by myself. I'll explain the process of how we become dietitians in a minute. But, oh my goodness, did I not see the end of this journey? It had been so long to get to that point in North Carolina. That was unknown to me the year prior that would even be happening. It took so long to get there. And then while I was there, it just seemed like it was never going to end. And I found myself really just digging so deep, finding out who I was and what I was really made of, what I was put here to do, and what I really wanted to get from my days going forward. And I kind of ended up with this non-negotiable path that I now am finding myself on sooner than I thought I would. But again, because I think I was just so sure, and because of the events leading up to today and this moment made me so sure and so non-negotiable in what I'm willing to not only do for myself in my life, but the practice that I want to educate my patients and my clients going forward. There's just no other way than what I'm building and what I'm about to do. So let's talk about what it's like to be a dietitian and that process, because wow, if you're unaware, as I was, I don't blame you. I now, from the other side, see it as such an not only underappreciated, I might be a little biased in that way, but just unknown profession. I don't think I really gave dietitians a second thought if I was to read the word anywhere or hear about them. And it's just funny how I ended up in this place that I am now. So I graduated from the University of Rhode Island with my bachelor's degree in nutrition and dietetics. From there, we have to enter what we call the Hunger Games, and it's a competitive internship process that takes about a year to apply and a couple $1,000. And you basically open yourself up, if you're willing to be sent anywhere in the country for the year of your supervised practice. It's unpaid. You have no idea where you're going to go until the day that you match to a program, and the match acceptance rate is about 30% in the country. So we didn't know how competitive it was, but then all of a sudden, like I said, the room turned into a Hunger Games situation. And suddenly we were all in competition with each other. Now, these are people that the program is small enough that maybe 80 kids that we grow together from class to class. So we always had the same kids in every class. So all of a sudden now you're looking to your left and looking to your right and you're like, you might take my spot. There's only one spot. So it was interesting dynamic of how the mood and how the energy changed through our last year of undergrad as we applied and tried to get into these internships. Come match day, which is in April, you get an email on a Sunday night with your placement, if you get one. And I remember that being the scariest day of my life because it wasn't like any other program. It wasn't like a nursing school or like any other profession where you go to school to be that job. To be a dietitian, there's never actually the promise of being a dietitian the day that you graduate because of this next step that only so few people get, and it's very expensive, and it takes you a year to do once you've already graduated. So it's not a program that you do inside of school. So it was stressful because I was like, did I spend the last 6 years for nothing? Am I not going to be a dietitian? So that day, match day, was just the scariest day ever. I remember just having a blank piece of paper and it said Plan B on it because I had to think, what if I don't get one? And what if I don't be a dietitian? What now? And those thoughts were different for me because, again, if you've been following me through my last couple of years of just doing my own thing and studying entrepreneurialism and practicing, just kind of creating my own environment and creating my own day, this was a weird thought for me to not have everything planned and to not know what I was going to do tomorrow, to not know that I had control over my future, that it was in the hands of this matching system. So, of course, we all know how the story ends. I do get matched to a school in North Carolina where I do my rotations. And the email simply says, pack your bags, you're moving here next month. So that changes everything as well. I'm here with my family and my boyfriend and my life that I know, and all of a sudden I'm in boxes and alone in the middle of nowhere, North Carolina, practicing to be a dietitian. And that itself was the most telling and eye-opening experience I've yet to do. And I think that's what it's made for. So not only did it give me the practice and experience I needed to become a dietitian, but it also showed me the things that are broken and the things that are wrong with our healthcare system on that level where I was able to not only be in it, but the decision maker of decisions that I couldn't get behind. I found myself very disappointed is one word, but also overwhelmed and just, again, not feeling connected with my body and with my beliefs in what we were practicing in today's healthcare system. And I was coming home at a 3-hour commute every day, and it was too long to give to someone in this situation because I was finding myself second guessing everything again. And it's healthy to step back and look at things big picture and always be honest with yourself. Am I doing what I believe in? Is this what's right for me? And constantly checking in with yourself. But the level at which I was doubting everything that I had done up to that moment was scary. And it's then that I knew this wasn't it for me. This wasn't the end for me. I personally couldn't see myself stepping into the role that the healthcare system gives to me. I don't think I could go to sleep. I don't think I could wake up feeling comfortable enough in what I was practicing or what my protocols were telling me to do to help people get well. Because as we know, this industry isn't necessarily a healthcare industry, but rather a sick care industry. So it was a little defeating to find myself in that, as I was always practicing on my own personal level, the complete opposite. So now what do I do? So I've gone through to school for 7 years. I've gotten into this internship that not many other people did. I'm so lucky to have got to this point, but now I don't like this point, and I know this is not for me. So in walks functional medicine, to fast forward through where that process of confusion led me. And I come across functional medicine, which is just different than what we're practicing conventionally. We are acknowledging that the same cookie cutter approach to healing people aren't working. Why are so many people sick? Why is all of these chronic diseases on the rise if we have all of these advances in medicine and all of these advances in healthcare? Something is not connecting, and we're not doing all that we're acknowledging can be done, I think, for a person. So functional medicine works to identify the root cause of what actually is going on in someone rather than treating the symptom. So if you think about it like shutting off the heat on your stove as opposed to just putting a cover on a pan of boiling water. We don't want to just null the symptoms that someone's experiencing every day that are crippling them. We want to get rid of it once and for all. It does require a lot of digging and detective work and lab testing and a partnership with this other person, the sick person, or the person that just doesn't feel well, the person that feels tired or cranky a lot of the time, hungry or never hungry. There's just so many things that we might feel on a daily basis that are not being addressed in the proper way because we kind of just shrug them off as symptoms. And symptoms can be dealt with. We have topical things for them. We have internal things for them. But how long can we go feeling these symptoms until something else happens or until we can't take it anymore? So here is my job. I studied functional medicine over the past year. Throughout my internship, I would get home at like 10 o'clock, and then I was immediately in my online courses for functional medicine. And oh my gosh, did my life change. This was where I felt like myself again, but I also felt like my new self. I didn't even know half of these things were possible until studying this different way to approach biochemistry like I never had in dietetic school, and to look at food in this way that can heal somebody like I was never taught before in school. And that changed everything for me because I love food, I love to eat, and I love to educate people. But now I feel better about what I'm teaching because it's actually working, and it's working for a lifetime, and we're teaching people how to get better and to heal. We're not just covering the outside layer of the pain or of the tired or of the fatigue. We're getting rid of it once and for all. And that's crazy to me. And that's where now everything has changed for me. I felt pressured to go on job interviews when I came back from North Carolina and became a registered dietitian after passing the boards. Of course, I was like, well, actually not of course for me because I am not the conventional get a job person, but I was feeling the outside pressure of, oh, right, when are you going to get a job now? Like, you're a dietitian, that's so easy to get a job. And I'm like, okay. So I went on a couple interviews, and I can tell you that I politely declined most of them in the interview because the conversation had shifted from why do you want to work here to what are your goals for the future and what are you passionate about? And it wasn't lining up in the hospital setting or in the settings that I was interviewing for. And we mutually were just like, yeah, this is not the fit for me. And then I would meet health professionals and doctors who did think like I did and who were aware of functional medicine and who were practicing it. And they were like, your passion and talent would be wasted in a hospital. And I don't say this to brag about myself. There's nothing to brag for yet. I have just begun to help people. But when you know that you have to be somewhere or that you aren't meant to be in a certain place so strongly, you have to go with it, even if it is uncertain. So let's fast forward to today, December 14th, 2017. What am I doing? I'm no longer laying on my grass in my backyard in the summer because it's snowing today and it's actually really pretty. And I'm fortunate enough to be wrapped up in a blanket with my podcast equipment, talking to you guys and updating you with what the heck I am doing and what my plans are going forward, after kind of putting my foot down and saying, no, like I can't get out of bed for this kind of thing. And I think it's really important, and I talk about this a lot with my patients and my clients early on, that we have to take care of ourselves and we have to be self-aware enough to be able to say yes or no to the proper things in life. I was a person that was like yes at everything and just trying everything I could to figure out if that was something that I could vibe with or if that's something that served me well, and vice versa. And I don't think it's a selfish thought to take time to figure out what you want. It might take you 7 years. It might take you a month. You might meet someone tomorrow who's doing exactly what you want to do, and you didn't even know that was what you wanted to do. And I don't think we ever know when the moment is that we figure it out. But once you do, we can't let go of it to fall to what we, quote, are supposed to be doing in today's society. So I incorporated myself. I hired all of the team I would need to get to the point that I could serve people the way that they need to be served. So again, it was important for me to find that purpose for myself, to kind of make my non-negotiables, and then to move forward to take the steps necessary to now serve everyone else. Kind of like the oxygen mask reference that I said that I use with my patients and clients. We have to, whatever our job is and whatever our goals are in life, we have to be not only healthy, but happy and fulfilled in our day-to-day in order to help and to love and to serve everyone else in our life. So I hired who I needed to. I have a great lawyer and accountant and a mentor and all of my friends at the bank and business partners and partnerships with local community places, office space, website designers, you name it. I have this amazing team that I've been building over the past couple of months in order to go into private practice, because I know that I can't help as many people the right way if I'm not in that kind of setting. And that was the scariest jump that I'm currently falling from right now. Like I just jumped out of the plane and I am in the middle of the sky in this present moment. And it is the most petrifying, exhilarating thing I have done to date. I've done a lot of cool stuff in these couple of years that I've been on the earth, and I'm so fortunate. But I know that this is just the beginning of something that is so much bigger than me. But my little voice needs to get out there and to be heard and to start practicing and helping people. There's a lot of people that aren't feeling good that I know that me and my team of people and the people who think like I do and practice the way I do can reach. So here, now I have to put this somehow into a form of practice, into some systematic form that I can see people and leverage myself and leverage my knowledge and continue to grow and to learn while I'm helping other people on their journey to feeling better. And this involves learning individuals' stories. because I'm acknowledging that people are more than their disease or than their symptoms, or that whatever the doctor told them, that they walked out of the doctor's office and are petrified and don't know what to do first. They don't know what to read on the internet. They don't know who to ask, and they just internalize it, and we're not getting any better. So in order to help them, I need to understand their story, and I can't identify them as any sort of disease because every person is so different. So my comprehensive approach to wellness is going to be different for each person. Long story short, I'm about to get real busy, but it's going to be so much fun. So I will try to utilize this podcast as much as I can. I want to set certain time in the week to be able to come on and give you a little blip about anything I've been reading recently or what's going on, again, in my world that I believe will help you in whatever place you're in today. So I'll do that. I also just kind of made the decision with some help from my social media guru, Shane Pacheco, regarding social media, because that's something that I struggle with on a personal level because I love and I hate it. I dislike very much being on my phone often. I don't like the feeling I get when I know I left my phone at home, that I'm anxious or I feel like I don't know where I'm going, or what if someone calls me. There's this crazy attachment that we have nowadays with these pieces of technology that it kind of goes against everything I want to be when I want to be present and just in the moment, not comparing myself to other people, not caring about what everyone's doing on a daily basis, or I don't know. It's overwhelming, but it's so necessary in today's world. So I have a love-hate relationship with it. What I had to do was kind of get over it on a personal level and utilize it for what I can do with it. It's a great outlet to share your voice and to share information, and that's what I have to do. So I've been creating a website, which I'm actually hiring out for now because I tried and I cried every day because I am not a website person. And my saint of a boyfriend helped me so much with that stuff. But I was advised by my business consultant to hire out for the things that I am not good at, because I am good at nutrition and I'm good at biochemistry, but I am not good at whatever website design I was trying to do. So I'm present on a website now. I've converted into one Instagram page, which was a confusing decision for me as well, because I don't know, I watch a lot of Instagram pages of X food person or X dietitian or X pro this or whatever. But again, I was having trouble building two pages because I have my personal page and I have my dietitian page, and I just wanted to blend them into one because I don't want to just be one person. To live functionally means to live with a purpose and to live for something. And I want to blend my life of my daily living activities along with what I practice in my private practice and as a dietitian and everything in between. So I want to be one person. So I have one Instagram account. You can follow me there. It's currently Amanda Rigby RD. I don't know if I'll change it again. Hopefully not. I've gone through a lot of name changes, as you kind of heard in my first podcast, as I was fumbling around trying to find a name for myself and now for my corporation. Fast forward to today, everything is published. There is a name. It is incorporated with the government. So I have got past that part. It was hard, but I'm excited. I'm unveiling everything in the new year, and I can't wait for you guys to give me your feedback on everything. I am so open to everyone's opinions and your first perceptions of how everything looks and how everything sounds. Because again, this is not about me. This is about how many people can I help. So your opinion as my audience and as my listeners does matter to me. So I'm excited to kind of take some polls and surveys and not only see how you like what I've done on my end with my branding, but also what you want to see in the future and what to come. So that's kind of where everything's at right now. I'm currently enrolled in 2 online programs. I am seeing patients slowly right now as I finish building my packages and kind of having all of my steps and processes and plans and frameworks in a row on my end. But I will be starting a new group class, which would probably be a 12-week education program in person in the new year. I will be sending things out for that. And for now, just keep with it. Keep hanging out with me because I'm learning as you're watching. And it's kind of a fun yet vulnerable place to be as someone starting their own thing and having everyone kind of watch every step of it. It keeps me accountable, but it's also scary, as you could imagine. I'm not necessarily afraid to fail because I know I've learned so much from my past experience as an entrepreneur that failing is the only way I can grow. I'm just so sure of everything that I'm doing. And I know this is the right path for not only me, but for what I'm going to be able to do for other people. And like I said, it's so much bigger than just me. So I'm excited. Thank you for hanging out with me for the last 25 minutes as I ramble about dietitian school and everything that stemmed from that. I'm really excited to keep showing you guys what I have in store because my lists are never ending in this office of mine. There's so much fun stuff coming. And I have so much information that I have to share with you. It's like selfish to keep it in right now. So I need to just kind of get my systems in place to be able to pump stuff out to you info so that you can start taking your health into your own hands tomorrow with what I can show you. So I guess that's it for today. I'll keep it short and sweet. But again, thank you for listening and subscribing to my podcast. This is the beginning of a crazy adventure, and I'm excited to have you along with me. All right, I will talk to you soon.